good morning, or I'm actually good afternoon, wherever you are. So regarding the symbolic paintings, so I've changed the Earth frame to Venus frame because I actually don't know, when it's night and when it's day in Venus. I mean, obviously, in the places where the Israeli convoys go, and should be said that I don't know, like, if you can trust, like public data on the matter, like, maybe I could have, figure out, but no, I couldn't because I don't know, no, I cannot. There is no way for me to know. Like, I do know that they leave during the night from Israel, and they arrive there when it's day. But there are still all sorts of like options that are, it's not true that, for certain, every time that there are people in Venus, it's day over there. This is not entirely I cannot trust it. And also, time can change. Even though if it's slow, it's time, there is still a rotation. And also, as they said, regarding the walls, both the day and the night affect, affects, this is harmonic movement. Like, so both the night and the day affects, are in effect all the time outside of two, infinitesimally, like small durations, short durations, during noon and midnight. Anyway, what I wanted to say now, again, I am not in the mood of telling you new stuff, even though there is much to be said, and I'm still in that with regard to scientific issues. I'm very happy that, this, the remote electrolysis experiment, eventually, it was very impressive, even though I couldn't catch it like on camera. It was most impressive maybe 15 or 20 minutes actually after the last time I actually recorded the video, which is kind of like a bummer because if I would have waited like a little longer and then I would have taken the video, it was more impressive. But these videos, they are only, they only convince people that actually want to be convinced. So it's mostly for me. Like, I do the science mostly for me, and it was very impressive. If I found like low voltage light bulb connected to the circuit, and then it will be even more unstable. And then at some point later, probably today, I'll take some microscopic samples to see what's inside this lovely 3 heaps of synthetic shrimp and worms. It looks really, really, I would say, surely, such bowls can develop an appetite even on people that are just, finished a healthy meal in a restaurant. It's so, so fresh and. Who can who can reject such a meal? Okay, so what I want to say now is really something very basic regarding myself. But I'm in the mood of not just saying the most basic stuff, even though there are thousands of videos. But still, there is something should be said because they are obvious. Because one of the things that the Israelis are doing for so long is trying to delete or to at least, if not delete, make things that are obvious ambiguous, even though they are not ambiguous at all. So you need to know some basic facts about me if you don't know it already. I'm now almost 40 years old, and when I was born, I was 0 years old. And this is a critical fact that you need to know about me. I was born a 0 years old person. It's a very important thing you must understand. It happened formally, according to the ID, on January 7, 1984. Probably it was a little earlier, and it was probably in Iran, actually. I don't know exactly, the exact circumstances are not very important. But it happens around that time. And when it happened, I was 0 years old. And very soon I will be 40 years old. And between those two dates, when I was 0 years old and 40 years old, actually what happened is that there were 40 years that happened between those two dates. I don't know if it's surprising to you or obvious to you. I really don't know, because all of this is very cultural, it depends on your culture. Like, it's very, culturally relative. Like, so you might find it surprising or you might find it obvious. I don't know. But in any case, you should understand that between the time when I was born and between now, there were actually 40 years, because I was born a 0 years old person. Now, why is it so important to say it? Because many people think that I was born like I don't know, 39 years old, maybe 1 year ago, and and they ask themselves, like, how does he know all this stuff? Like, is he programmed to know it, or maybe the aliens like installed the data on his mind, or does he belong to an intelligence service of this world and he's just reciting things, or maybe he's like having an operator that tells him what to say. So I made it very easy to you to understand how I know what I know, because during the last 4.5 years, I almost every day document my thought. Thousands of videos in this channel alone from the last year. But before that, there was Facebook and Twitter and Evernote. Many thousands of videos and recordings with me recording and speaking, and all. Before that, writing about what I discover, what I'm not sure about, what I think, about like my own personal mythologies and interpretation, biblical criticism, New Testament, commentary, philosophical, treatises, historical, understanding, scientific innovations, tremendous amount of stories from my early childhood, from my the teen days, from my military service, from my days in the university where I lived in Jerusalem, marriage life, divorce life, so much information. Yes, on the one hand, yes, I understand that if you are new to the issue, it's probably, it's not easy. Certainly, if you do not belong to an intelligence community that is very strong, it's not. I would assume that it's, for a relatively small country that is kind of like now interested on the matter, because they understand that the world is going to end. So maybe, they should, care about who is this person. So maybe for I don't know, like a country like Belgium, or I don't know, Luxembourg, or I don't know, Sudan. Maybe they care about the end of humanity, and they understand that I'm a representative of the species that are going to kill all of you. So it might be difficult, like, to comprehend all these thousands of hours of videos. So you need to do your best. And some of it is not available to everybody, because the Israelis are assholes, and some of it is in Hebrew, so you need translation. So you need, do your best. I don't know, whatever you can. But the information is right there. It's not a secret. How do I know what I know? I was born 40 years ago, and I was 0 years old, and I grew up, and I learned stuff, I discovered stuff, I studied stuff. I was always, a very, study-oriented person since I was born. It was everybody, and it was like, I grew up in Tel Aviv, and among everybody, a tremendous amount of people knew me. It was my life was not a secret in Israel. So all these questions, of like, how does this robot, I mean, well, this, like, is ET that just landed on Earth and he knows so much stuff about Earth? How does it happen? I mean, is he like a programmer seeing a programmed robot, or maybe he's operated by another, like, human intelligence service? No. The answer is he's not a robot, he's not programmed. He was born in Earth, and he lived most of his life like a human being, and during that years, he came to understand that he's not Homo sapiens, and he started a discovery journey in which he uses both information from his history in his own life and new information that he discovered in the last 4.5 years. He used all of it to create, new conceptualization regarding reality, and this was a process that is still going on, and it was documented the best way that I could. I mean, throughout thousands of hours of videos and recordings. He's not a robot. He's not controlled by any intelligence service. And every question that, of the type, what are his sources, or how does he know what he knows, have an answer, but you just, need to listen to the videos and to the recording. And it might not be a simple answer. Not every question has a simple answer. This is one of the fallacies of the Israelis, that they think that, that every question should have a short answer, and if it doesn't, you shouldn't even listen to the answer, because it's not relevant, and certainly, you need to find the short answer. No, no, not every question has a short answer. Sorry, what can I say? Some questions, they require long answers. That's the facts of life.